a nice show.
Yes.
You know the highlight of the show for me, though? I think we can say it together.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Malachi.
Malachi. Aaron.
Oh, bless him.
He was he's just
blessing.
such a wonderful kid.
Honestly.
And that's why I just say, stay same way.
Yes.
Don't change. Don't change. And I was talking to his mom.
Yeah.
And she was saying, hey, him can go deep, you know. We tell him for hold back. God, him can go deep.
Man. Sweet bad.
Yeah.
Honestly, sweet bad. As watching him and
Opinions
listening to him.
of war and international conflict,
And
you know.
all I kept thinking was, if my son nice, so all right. Not for worry about if my son nice, so nice little boy.
Definitely. Awesome.
So our JN giveaway winner is Nashara Smith. So your handle is at Nashara Smith 739.
Yes.
Please collect or contact our peeps. Have your peeps contact our peeps to get your things, girl.
All right.
Also, head over to Mother's this morning to get your Monday morning breakfast on.
Yeah.
For you,
Yeah.
what's your classic Monday morning breakfast?
Monday morning, well, it has become rundown.
Me know.
The rundown, I don't play.
Yeah.
Definitely. What about you?
The rundown. I love a good rundown, you know.
Yeah, I
and
do.
from my
I
taste,
really
at first,
appreciate it.
Mother's rundown, and it tastes good.
Yeah, man, that was me.
I
That
stick
was
with
it.
it.
It
But
was
also,
it.
the other
And
day, I cheated and I had stewed chicken. And it was really good.
It was really good? No, like with the rundown, and I like yam, but the yam have to dry, because I
Yeah.
don't want it. And like every morning that I've had it, the yam and the rundown combination, hits perfectly.
Perfect.
A nice yellow yam.
Yeah, you love a yellow yam.
Yes.
Also, big shout out to our floral partner, Best
Buds.
Check out their March blooms today.
Yeah. Well, that's all the time we have for our show for today, Sunrisers. If you missed anything or you just want to watch the stuff in between your favorite segments, we've got you covered on CVMTV.com. And for all the fun stuff in between, there's Instagram at SunriseCVM, at CVM Television as well. Remember, subscribe to our new YouTube channels at Sunrise CVM and at CVMTV News.
All right.
So,
the Roundtable squad. May have to watch Roundtable this morning.
Yes.
Fun fact.
Yes.
One of my professors is sitting at the table.
ah.
Like the course was in aesthetics. So I'm very interested to see what she has to say. Love when she's here.
Yeah,
So
storytelling.
Roundtable squad takes over when Sunrise return. Good morning, Dr. Meeks. How you doing?
Good morning and welcome to the Monday edition of the Roundtable. As we continue to celebrate International Women's Month, let us remember the strong women that don't have attitudes, they have standards. And that's a quote from Marilyn Monroe. Now, joining me at the Roundtable this morning is my fantastic yellow bedecked co-host, Barbie, and a Jamaican, a superwoman, Dr. Amina Blackwood. Welcome to the Roundtable. That is you.
That is definitely.
Definitely.
Welcome. Thank you.
How have you been?
I've been all right.
Yes.
We give thanks for life every day. I've been all right, and we recognize that some days are not so good, but alive.
Yeah, and that is that. How
And we
about
wait for the
you?
better days
I've
to
been
come.
very good, and I definitely agree. It's life,
By
right?
the way, speaking of life, anybody who knows me knows that yellow is like medication to me. Good medication, can't overdose on it. So the versions that Yendi has on, which I hear is, what's that fancy word?
Chartreuse.
Chartreuse.
Yes.
And of course, the yellow, I mean, it's giving me all the energy I need this
I
Monday
think mine
morning.
is electric.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's electric.
They are beautiful colors.
There you go. It's now time to check in and see what's buzzing online.
Stay. I want you, I need you, oh God. Don't take these beautiful things that I've got. Please stay. I want you, I need you, oh God. Don't take these beautiful things that I've got. Please don't take. I found my mind, I'm feeling sane. It's been a while, but I'm finding my faith. If everything is good and it's great, why do I sit and wait till it's gone? Oh, I tell you, I know
Wow.
All right, so guys, what I loved about that and why I asked for that to be our social buzz this morning is that it shows the concept that another man's waste is another man's treasure.
Yes.
And in the modern era, especially when you're serious about reusing and recycling, nothing is waste, everything is raw material, just waiting on the next version. And because plastics will outlive all of us watching and on this program today, we might as well start converting it into something utilizable that also protects the environment.
But even if we don't convert it, it's a treasure to live in a clean environment.
Absolutely.
So just to go down and clean up your gully.
Yes.
You're going to enjoy that.
Right.
It's good for your health and well-being.
Yeah, and I
Yes.
want to do a shout out to Malachi, who will be forming his Eco Club at the Windward Road Primary School.
Oh,
we should
nice.
touch bases with him on
Absolutely.
video live.
Which
Yes.
is definitely the level that we need to start teaching them about being the economy
Yeah.
and doing all of these things, recycling and the importance of it. That primary school level,
Yeah, man.
you know, because some of us more mature people.
Who have been thinking about this from way back until when we were 3.
When my nephew was
Did you?
5, when my nephew was 5, he came here and he said, I need to go. And we were like, what happened, Chris? And he said, Jamaicans don't recycle. They just throw things to the side of the road. He was very upset.
So
very.
her nephew and young Malachi said, it started all the way back when I was 3. and that's, we heard that.
Yes,
And it
yes.
sank in.
Precious.
All right, so
Precious.
we now have Bag of Things.
Yes.
Oh, Lord, what you said you do. Yes. Just how you said you will. Oh, time and time again. Yes, yes, he's done it before. Ha. We believe you can do it.
Barbie.
Yes,
Take us through
that
this.
is my bag of things. So I want everyone to remember 2 words: go worship. When you think of go worship, I want you to think of, as a matter of fact, when you think of like Hillsong and you think of a lot of these other worship groups that are worldwide, Go Worship is a worship group it's a sound coming out of Jamaica. Born in Jamaica and coming out of Jamaica. And they are, listen, I would put them on a stage beside Hillsong or any of those other worship teams any day, and they would definitely more than rise to the occasion. They are absolutely amazing. It's a group of young students. They are from Edna Manley. Edna Manley, yes. They are all Edna Manley students, and they're led by John Mark Wigan,
Yes.
who we know got Breakout Artist of the Year last year, as well as male artist, gospel male artist of the year. They are absolutely amazing. So my bag of things is they are actually the worship team at my church.
Right.
So I get the pleasure and the joy of actually listening to them every week.
Well,
Yes.
there's one thing that your worship team, Go Worship, has, which no other worship team has. The executive producer of CVM at Sunrise and the Roundtable is the lady in the back doing
With
the
the
flags.
flags,
So
yes.
how can the other worship teams compete, right?
They cannot.
And by the way, Keisha has now upscaled the concept of the flagman that we first became accustomed to on the stage shows with the different
Earning
flags.
a bag of money, traveling around the
Yes.
world waving the flags.
Hey, from you see Keisha doing it, you know, you must know.
She after something.
She says next.
Listen, it's
I see something
amazing.
hot coming over here.
Keisha's going to kill you, by the way. I can't
No,
wait
I'm
for
actually
this.
wearing comfortable shoes, so I can outrun
you can
her,
outrun her this morning.
Yeah, man. All right, so interesting topic as young Malachi spoke about things he was thinking about from way back when he was 3, embracing golden age. That's our topic this morning. So, who's gonna take the first round of the conversation?
Oh, wow.
It's a very provoking, let me use my mother's word, provocating topic, because one of the things that come to my mind immediately is from whose culture? From whose culture is that phrase? right? So that's the first thing. And the second thing is, are we implying something now about ageism in our culture, where when you reach a certain age, you're expected to step back? And it doesn't have to be retirement age. Excuse me. You hear people talk about, when is this athlete going to retire?
Yes.
As if when that athlete retires, you automatically become the next.
Great. That's a very good point. Yes.
Or when is the singer going to retire?
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't recognize the amount of ground that people lay when they are young so that we have something to inherit.
Yes.
So there is a way in which an old person's golden age is your golden legacy.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
What about you, Barbie? How do you see it?
I definitely agree 100%. What I can say is that growing up, I didn't recognize or truly give value to the women that were before me, and I never saw them as old. And now that I'm older, you know, my nieces and nephews, they're also looking at me like, Auntie Barbie, I actually have my cousin's gonna kill me, but one of my cousins, she cannot convince her children that I'm older than her for no reason whatsoever. But I think that, you know, as they have this thing that they say that black women age with grace, right? And I've learned why. But I think that as I get older, I get wiser, but I also see the path that was laid before me, and I'm just so honoring of that.
Yeah.
I truly, truly am. So I just think that, you know, my grandmother used to say, you're as young as you feel. Well,
Yeah.
you're also as young as you want to be, to tell you the truth. It's not just about how you feel, it's about what you choose and what you want to be. So I'm enjoying it. I'm 49, I'll be 50 this year, so let's go.
Well, I think that nobody should let something external to their opinion impede their continuation, their growth, their progress, their willingness to retool, to learn something new. And you know, one of the things I can say why I can say that so easily is that even coming here this morning, we have to be grounded. You know, a team member who shall remain nameless went to my alma mater, you know, says, oh, here he comes. He went to the same basic school as Moses. And he did not mean being a man. But the thing about it is like some people, I find, believe in the construction that others have placed around them. So you're now 30, you should have already done.
Yes.
You're now 40, you should have already done. And I want to use the opportunity to say, especially that all of us are alive in this time with information so easily at our fingertips. Get the right information to build you. So even some of what we used to call old age diseases, well, first I didn't realize that they started at 45. Certainly when I was 16, I did not realize that. But the other thing is nutrition and information about how we keep active, how we keep mobile, especially in our hips. There's all of this science now that physical activity rejuvenates. And the reverse of that is the moment you stop being physically or mentally active, then senescence, which is a biological process, takes over. And we'll talk more about that when we come back from this break.
I like that word, senescence.
All right, so not to be the nerd around the table, but the word senescence, but to be the nerd. So senescence is that phase in the human life cycle when muscles and the skeletal cells start to disintegrate and don't regenerate as often or as successfully as at different points in our life. That's not necessarily linked to age as much as it is linked to nutrition and to the decisions we make to keep active. Any form of physical activity, especially dancing, is now being proven as one of the ways to cause the brain to stimulate those hormone centers that leads to regeneration.
I need to learn how to dance.
I'd like to back up a bit.
Yeah.
Barbie mentioned two very important words, grace and wisdom.
Yes.
And then I'd like to say something about lifestyle. Grace is an attitude.
Yes, absolutely.
You don't get it when you're 20.
Yes.
You don't get it when you're 60.
Yeah.
You either have it or you don't.
Absolutely.
And you constantly renew it. How to be gracious to others. An attitude of gratitude is something that we grow into and carry with us, whatever age we are.
Yeah.
Second thing is wisdom. You know that in some societies, you're not wise until you're 60. In African societies, you're not wise until you have lived the years to acquire the experience that you are able to advise others in a wise way.
Right.
It says a lot about our society at the moment, where younger people, I don't even know what younger is anymore. For them must be 20.
Yeah.
And things say once you are 30, you don't need any mentorship. And when we look at the people that we call national heroes, they grew up in the presence of and with the advice of people who were older than them.
Absolutely.
Whether it's the Baptist ministers who did mentor Paul Bogle and Sam Sharp, or Marcus Garvey's godfather and his own mother and father. We need that so that we can have something to hold on to take us forward.
Yes.
I want to say something about lifestyle. You see, if you never eat proper when you were 30, and senescence step in.
That pretty word, senescence.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And you think so you can suddenly start to eat 2 leaf of lettuce and it is going to be reversed. It do not go like that. You see, like this box now, it should have some nice roast dumpling. You ever eat roast dumpling? It should have some nice roast dumpling. We were talking about the environment earlier, and one of the things we know is that what is grown in your environment is what you're supposed to eat. There is a reason we have yellow yam and green banana and ackee and Ethiopia apple and all of those wonderful things because they're good for us in this environment.
Hold on a second. It's Ethiopia apple?
No, sir.
Oh, I was going to say that as today's year.
It's Ota-iti.
Oh, so when you said that a while ago, I was like, hold on a second. Ota-iti, Ethiopia.
The nerd could not let that pass. Like,
You were saying, I know, right?
I have learned how to grow wise by watching the people who were much older than me when I was younger.
Absolutely.
When I lived in Antigua, there was a couple who were my friends, and they were old enough to be my parents. Them involved in everything. And every day they have a schedule, which day them go, because in Antigua we had to go to the post office to pick up our mail. Which day them pick up the mail and read it, which day them answer the mail, which day she have our friends come over for lunch, and which day him go play golf, and so on and so on and so forth. So we also need to have a schedule that keeps us active. And the final thing I want to say in this segment is that we get into a habit of making a contribution. And that doesn't have an expiry date. Rex Nettleford was dancing until he was 70 when the good Lord called him home. Wycliffe Bennett wrote the history of the Jamaican theatre when he was 88. And at what age did Sir Philip Sherlock say, you know, say the history when me write, that these children are learning in school. I know the right history. I'm going to do it over. And he was 94 when the book was launched. So there is no expiry date on what we are able to contribute, but it has to be a part of our lifestyle.
Amen.
No, the point you touched on rhythm. Rhythms are important. So you said schedule, but a schedule is really a rhythm.
We like rhythm.
Yeah, because
I like senescence.
Yes.
You like rhythm, I like senescence.
Everything in life is a rhythm, even the way the waves wash onto the shore.
Absolutely.
And if all you do is stand in the presence of the waves, I know people are going to say, okay, that's an inexact science, but all the wave rhythm releases an energy. You don't even have to be in the water. Best if you are, but even if you're not in the water, that rhythm helps to ground you, connect you with nature and remind you that there is a start, a midpoint, and towards the afternoon, that rhythm of the waves changes again.
Yes.
And if we retain a rhythm or a pattern or a schedule that we commit to, and it could just be about getting up at the same time every morning and mixing your coffee tea.
First light,
Yeah,
yes.
that's it. That's the rhythm right there. It doesn't have to be anything hectic. And for those who go to the gym, that works for them. Some go to yoga, that works for them. Some of us are just natural dancers and have a rhythm of our own that works for us, natural dancers. with a rhythm
Raymond
of their
include
own.
himself in the dancers.
Prof, I think I'm an excellent dancer.
Yes, he
Oh,
does.
we'll ask you for a demonstration in a
Oh,
little.
no, we won't.
In a little while.
I'm so up for that. If you join me, though,
We will see.
But we're gonna take another break, and then when we come back, it's time for final
Final
thoughts.
thoughts.
Okay.
Yes.
Travel down the road back.
Thanks for staying with us. Time flies when good things are happening. But you know, it's not all flown away just yet. We have time for final thoughts. Starting with our superwoman guest.
I want to comment on that song by
Yes.
Marcia Griffiths. It is one of my favorite songs by Marcia Griffiths.
Yes.
And she is one of my favorite people. And when we name the people who continue to contribute, we didn't name a woman.
Yes.
And Marcia Griffiths is celebrating her 60th year in the business
Yes.
this year with grace and style
Yes.
and charm and love and
Absolutely.
gratitude, and still has so much to give and so much for all of us to learn from. Can I be allowed another sentence?
Yes, you can.
Because this phrase, the golden years, me look it up. But me didn't know it because Shakespeare mentioned it in Henry V.
Yes.
I believe. It's Nandra High School, me go, me know me literature. But this particular site attributed it to the Greeks, which mean them thief it from Africa. Never mind, we'll come back to that. But what it said was the term the golden years were used in a time before human beings were organized and was meant to refer to harmony, prosperity, and the way we live with one another. So it is indicating something to me about what technology has removed from us when we begin to look towards the golden years. And perhaps we need to go back to come forward again.
Well, Barbie, while you gave us your final thoughts,
You're
might
going
I
down?
But I'm not doing it alone.
You cannot dance while I'm giving my final thoughts.
Right.
No
See?
one will
Out of
listen
order.
to me.
So I was looking
Out
for the
of
opportunity to
order.
dance with the Amina,
We are
but
going
it's
to
not
dance.
gonna.
We're all going to
Go
dance
right
Yes.
ahead.
after
Go
your
right
final
ahead.
thought.
Go
I don't
right
even
ahead.
know if I have a final thought other than let's dance. Let's dance. That's my final thought. That is definitely my
Dance
final
into the
thought.
golden
is
years.
Dance. Dance
Yes.
every day of your life. Dance into the
no.
golden years. Don't stop dancing. Don't stop living. Don't stop loving.
One of
Don't
dance.
stop living.
Right here, so electric slide.
Electric
And we are
slide.
going to
Electric
dance.
slide.
Oh my goodness. Jump, jump,
Yeah.
jump, 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 jump.
DJ, turn it up. Which way we go first?
And then what?
Right, and then go again.
With the noise.
And then you do something like, and you change the direction. And then you dip
Oh no, you
again.
don't go back.
And then you do, and you go in a different direction. I'm changing it to make it circular to use up
We
the
are
space
enjoying
better,
ourselves.
right? Electric slide on. We're gonna ask you to have the best day possible and always embrace the rhythm, embrace the dance, keep nimble and active, and you'll find that that keeps you young. So you go and have your day. We're gonna finish our dance, right?